Thank you for joining us and welcome to Legal Learning. I'd like to introduce your hosts today, Staff Attorney Jeff Hittelman and Paralegal Richard Rudolph. They are both in the Senior Citizen Law Project. For Legal Learning today, we will discuss hot topics facing seniors in Broward, such as condo associations, special assessments, debt consolidation, and garnishment protections. This presentation is not intended to provide specific legal advice. Information current as of May 2, 2023.
Thank you again for joining us for Legal Learning this afternoon. Rick, we really should have introduced you as longtime paralegal in the Senior Citizen Law Project. Tell us, how long have you been with CCLA?
I've been doing this a little bit over 20 years now and enjoy it every day.
Rick does. He tells me that every day. Rick, tell us a little bit about what you do, kind of how you help out the attorneys in your role as a paralegal.
As my role as a paralegal, a lot of files, when they're created, come to me for me to go ahead and speak to potential clients and go ahead and gather information from them as far as what their issues are, what needs to be done, what specific advice they're looking for. And I gather all that information, and then I go ahead and I turn it over or discuss it to an attorney, and either the attorney goes ahead and contacts the person back, or they give me specific instructions about what they want me to talk to the client about.
Rick, you kind of have your finger on the pulse of the issues facing seniors in Broward. Let's talk about a couple of the hot topics. First, condos and condo associations. What are some big issues you're seeing every day dealing with condo associations?
Every day now it becomes more and more about people calling up that live in condominiums that are being surprised by letters they are receiving from their association about assessments going up, and then special assessments being added on. And this has caused a lot of people to be in a situation where they have to really struggle in order to keep their condominium. The assessments usually are the normal routines of what it takes to go and keep the condo going and safe and sound, so to speak. And includes usually about the regular maintenance of the building, taking care of the common elements of the building. What's happening now is there are a lot of special assessments coming up because of insurance rates. Insurance rates have skyrocketed, and the reason why they've skyrocketed is because of taxes going up, buildings needing major repairs, stuff that's been pretty much neglected over the years. And so when these special assessments are coming up, all of a sudden they need to be paid by each and every one who lives in the condominium building. Each unit owner is responsible for a share, their proportion of the expenses. And some of these expenses could be very, very high, and a lot of them could be just couple few $100s that could be spread out over a few months. But we're seeing some of these buildings now where they need major repairs, such as a roof, strengthening the building to where it's costing hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the unit owners basically have to divide that up and each pay their portion of that amount. Hopefully the associations go ahead and allow them to make the payments over a certain amount of time. But some associations are saying now, they're saying, hey, we want the payments your share within 2-3 payments. And this has put a lot of our clients into a serious situation where they just can't afford to do it. And it's a major change in their life, an upset in their life, so to speak. So it's very sad what's happening. And right now, we're just hoping that some different ways could be, that could become available to where some of the people that are on fixed incomes could go ahead and get some sort of help, maybe from the county or the state or somewhere along that line, to where they don't actually lose their home.
Yeah, this is a real challenge for people on fixed incomes, isn't it?
And that's it, Jeff. With someone who is fixed income and they're happy, they've sold the home and they invested in the condominium, they paid it off in full, and now they just have their regular monthly assessment. Then all of a sudden, surprise, something happens and they get a notice saying, hey, we have to charge everybody a certain percentage of money to fix the building or to do something that's come up out of the ordinary. And again, now all of a sudden, someone who's used to paying maybe $300, $400 a month on maintenance could, in addition to that $400 a month, might have to pay like $500, $800, $900 more a month for a certain period of time. And that just, for the person on fixed income, it just becomes a disaster for them.
If you do live in a condo association and the association's thinking about adding a special assessment, they should give you notice. You should get a notice that looks something like this, that the association's planning a board meeting to consider approving a special assessment. And it should give you all the details of what the special assessment's for, how much it's going to be, and what the purpose of it is. So keep an eye on those notices.
Those notices, Jeff, are also good because usually they talk about meetings that they're going to have in order to approve the special assessment. And that is the time for unit owners to be involved and go there and say, hey, if this happens, and then we're going to have to pay this kind of money, how are we going to be able to do that? And that's when everybody needs to try to work together and say, how can we all do this to where we're all going to be able to afford to keep our homes? A lot of times unit owners don't go to these meetings and they just get a notice saying, hey, we had a meeting and this is what's happened. And then the unit owners want to complain. So the time to complain is to be involved and attend those meetings, understand what's going on, understand why that special assessment needs to be paid, what can be done to stretch it out. Can the association go to a bank and get a bank loan to pay it and then spread out the payments over multiple years to make it more affordable for people on fixed incomes to go ahead and afford?
Now that we've talked about condo associations, a second big issue, debts. And specifically, Rick, let's start with talking about debt consolidation companies. What types of issues are you seeing with debt consolidation?
Yeah, the debt consolidation companies are businesses. Unless you're dealing with a non-profit agency, every other debt consolidation company out there is a business to make money. They don't usually care about you yourself, about what's happening in your life. They are just looking for a way to go ahead and charge you and make money. The theory of the debt consolidation company is, instead of paying 4 or 5 different credit card companies $150, $200 a month, just pay us one payment a month. And a lot of people say, wow, instead of making 5 payments, I'm just making one payment. This is good. The downside to that is that the debt consolidation company does not take into consideration you yourself, your financial situation. A lot of times, Jeff, what I've noticed is people get involved with a debt consolidation company who might be in a position to where their debts could actually be exempt from collection. For instance, if someone's just collecting Social Security, that money is exempt from creditors. The debt consolidation company would not tell you about that. They either say, okay, well, you make $800 a month from Social Security, just send us $300 a month, and then we're going to try is the key word, to negotiate with your credit card company about reducing your debt. There are no guarantees. Debt debt consolidation company does not go to court with you and argue if the credit card company sues you. Again, it's just a business for them. And what I find very frustrating is the poor person who's trying to consolidate their debt might very well be in a position where their debt is non-collectible because they have certain exemptions provided by law. And it's very frustrating because the debt consolidation company should explain this to the potential person, their potential customer, about, wait, you might not even need to get into a debt consolidation program. So for some people, it's good. Some people that have a lot of income, many sources of income, and they just have a problem getting their bills paid, it might be okay for them. But so many of our clients have very, very little income and just one source of income, mainly Social Security. And to take any money out of that Social Security means that our client might not be eating properly because they're paying money to a debt consolidation company. So we see a lot of that, and that's why it's really works out well when they contact our office and we're able to go ahead and look at their situation and give them advice about possible exemptions they have from collection.
It definitely is. We want you to know your rights. And in Florida, there are a lot of debtor protections. And as you mentioned, Rick, that there's some strong protections from garnishment, from a creditor going in and taking your money. And Rick, there's a whole long list of the different benefits that are protected. But like you talk about, Social Security is one of the biggest that so many people ask who are just living on Social Security, can I go to prison if I don't pay my debt? And this slide is blank on purpose because we don't have debtor's prison. You can't go to prison for not paying a debt. And I want to walk through what happens and how you may be protected. If a judgment is entered, if a court case, a lawsuit is filed, and a judgment is entered against you for money, the creditor can try to collect in a couple ways. But there's a lot of protections. The home you live in, if you own it, is protected, your homestead. And the big thing we see are seniors on Social Security. There are exceptions, but as a general rule, your Social Security benefits are protected and cannot be garnished. A variety of other benefits are also protected, and this is how it works. The bank or the court is supposed to go through and look at what benefit you're getting. And if it's Social Security of one of those benefits that qualifies for protection, it should not be taken from you. It should not be garnished. How does this play out? Let's say it comes to a court case. You have a chance to fill out a form and claim an exemption and tell the court that you get a benefit that is protected and shouldn't be taken by a creditor. Rick, do you find that a lot of people don't know all of these rights that we have and then don't get to protect themselves?
The proper way is for a person to be notified, hey, you have certain exemptions that may protect you from your money being taken from you. The part that happens, though, in reality is a lot of people do not understand that right might apply to them, such as what we're talking about. Social Security is a main source of income for most seniors. And that is one of the biggest protections that is out there. That money cannot be taken if your income is only Social Security. Usually Social Security, veterans benefits, unemployment compensation, anything to do with the government, regular pensions, money in an IRA. A lot of exemptions are out there to help people, and a lot of people don't realize that they qualify for it. And so it's fantastic when they contact us and we're able to go over it and examine their issues and stuff. And to be able to tell a person, especially a person that's only collecting Social Security or only a VA benefit, hey, guess what? Even though that judgment has been entered against you, no, they're not going to be able to take your $800 a month you're collecting from the VA or from Social Security. So it's so important that people, if they ever find themselves in that situation, they contact and try and get legal help. It makes a difference. It makes a very big difference.
Definitely. Thank you so much for joining us today for this discussion about important topics facing our seniors, condo associations, and garnishment protection. Stay tuned for future episodes of Legal Learning.
Right. Thanks, Jeff.